So now we go down to the secured party information, and lo and behold, it's the same file number. It's the same file number as the debtor. And the secured party is the Susquehanna Bank. Now that word can be broken down. It's got Q in it, Q-U-E. It's also got Hannah in it. If you take the H off, it's got Anna. And this is Anna Brown's house. Now if you kick the N off of Brown, you got Brow. You gotta be a highbrow. Gotta have an arch in your eyebrow, so you can get respect. Now the address is 59 West Washington Street, P.O. Box 919, Hagerstown, MD, Middle District. And I won't tell you the postal code because I already did that. So now we're going to go back over just a little quick review, because I'm going to show you something today that I bet you never even looked for. So we went through the charges here, and I'm not going to use the D word anymore. That stands for dollar. I'm going to call them bucks, just like the president said the buck stops here. Well, guess what? Remember, we showed you already, after the Live Your Dreams, we showed you in the Federal Reserve note that it goes to the Internal Revenue Serve. So I misread that when I was talking to you. I said it wasn't service, it's Internal Revenue Serve. So it's a reserve serve. So you got serve in there twice. It's a revenue serve. Okay, so the venue is the location. And if you're going to revenue, then you're doing a little flip around location. So we've got front and back. We've got black and white. We've got good and evil. We've got good and evil in everything. See, the evil part, the part that you call the devil that's lived backwards, that's just a measuring stick to see where you're at on your path, your course, your purpose. So when we look at that, again, the Federal Reserve and the Federal Reserve note and the Internal Revenue Serve, that is the IRS Technical Support Division. Technicalities. Got to check out those words. You've got to be really precise. You've got to have an icicle to cut away and see what it's really telling you. That is 1500 Pennsylvania Avenue. I think that's the White House. I think that's the White House. Needs to be checked out a little better. But we have to remember that when we find out things, that we don't crucify the person without giving them an opportunity to speak, because that's what's happened in the past. You see, Moses could only see the backside of God. That means he had to look into the past to see what everyone had done, to find out how God was showing him the right way. See, you have to see where you've been in order to know where you're at and which way you want to go. That's easy. That's easy. That's my name backwards. C-C-E-C. That's my name backwards. I used to tell people that when I was 21 dealer. Now, so we're going to go on here and this is a quick review. So we know that this Federal Reserve note, it only is a singular word. Kind of like people is a singular word. It is a collective noun. It's a collective noun. Okay, it's a singular word, but it is composed of many units. Now, I view the word God as a collective noun, and let me tell you why. Because to begin with, my Creator's word, my mother, and my father. Now, my father had the blueprint in his seed, but that seed had to be planted in land. Your body is land. You were made out of your mother's body. She provided the materials, just like the earth. You get an idea, and then you sit down and you make a plan of how you're going to put your idea into play. And then you've got to figure out where you're going to get the materials. Now, some plans involve people, having them do different kinds of work, like maybe they're helping you in an office. So you have a secretary, you have a file clerk, you have someone that runs the messages to the other parties where you want to get information to. So you have a whole lot of different factors in putting your plan into play. The most important part of any plan is what is your intention. Is it your intent to create life in abundance, or is it your intent to destroy? That's the importance. That's what God wants to know. What's in your heart? Now, if you take the H off a heart and put it on the other end, guess what you get? You get the earth. If you take the TH off of earth, guess what you get? Your ear. And God gave you two of them. He gave you a left ear and a right ear. And if you were to take those two ears off and put them together, guess what you'd have? You'd have a heart. So God's got your mind and your face in between the two ears. Two ears. Up here is where your third eye is. That's the sixth chakra. Right here, your throat is the fifth chakra. That's your voice. And the fourth chakra is your heart. So these three have to work in unison together. This is the automatic part of your body. Now you have your mother and your father. On top of them, they have a mother and father. You call them your grandmother and grandfather. Now, if you keep putting the 2 by 2s, see, you are an arc of all those that came before you. You have all those ancestors inside you. Every cell in your body is an ancestor. Every hair on your head is an ancestor. And they all want to be with you all the time. And they are. Because you have a consciousness and you have a subconsciousness. Now the subconscious mind never sleeps. That's the automatic part of your body. Your conscious mind, every day when you wake up and you open up your eyes, it's let there be light. Now, if you're a blind person, you're still opening up your eyes and you're seeing things in a different way. That's when you have to use your senses. And the Lord sharpens up the other senses if you lose your sight. The people have to learn that are blind how that they can be able to go out the door and be amongst everyone else. They have a cane. They have a white tip on that cane. That's to let other people know that they're blind. Then you need to pay extra special attention to them to make sure that you don't get in their way. And you need to look out for them. If you see somebody's going to come in their direction or maybe hurt them, then it's a crime if you don't do something. Now, I know there's a lot of you out there that even though you can see with your eyes, you're still blind. You're still blind because you're blinded by the light. You're blinded by the light. So now we're going to shed some light on the subject of our discussion. So we had the Federal Reserve note. In this Federal Reserve note, we already went over it. It says the individual's last name is an E. Knight. Now, to me, this may or may not, depending on whether you partake of this food for thought, might represent an electronic night. Because everything we're doing these days is we're using electricity and electronics. Okay? Now we had, in the beginning of this nation, which was founded by all of our ancestors' hard work, they came up with a system to elect. That's a choice. Now the Constitution of the United States of America